Chers auditeurs,
dear listeners,
bonjour.
welcome to comdarchipodcast Season 5.
Saison 5, dans le monde fascinant des architectes.
And in the architectural projects.
Je suis Anne-Charlotte Deponte, passionnée d'architecture et docteur des universités en histoire de l'archi.
I am one of the spokespersons of Anne-Charlotte, who is a PhD in architecture history.
Merci.
Thank you.
D'être avec moi aujourd'hui.
To be with us today.
Et
And
maintenant,
now,
lundi en français, place au talent.
and Wednesday, let's talk projects. In English, of course.
Bienvenue dans Comme d'Archi.
Dear listeners, good morning. This is Esther on behalf of Anne-Charlotte. It's good to meet you again in Season 5 of Comme d'Archi with a text by the Atelier d'Architecture Bien Urbain about their project, a transformation of 19 social housing units in Paris 3e. But first, let them introduce themselves. Bien Urbain, Atelier d'Architecture. Initiated in 2013 during the European 12 competition, it won at the Rouen-Saint-Sever site. The team formed a company in January 2016 around Nicolas Seb and Jérôme Stablon. It was reinforced in 2019 with the arrival of Guillaume Cantardian. Bien Urbain is responsible for the design and monitoring of the work right up to the reception of new projects as well as renovation. We support project owners on programs of public facilities, shops, activities and housing, as well as on town planning missions. The agency can also intervene upstream in the context of assistance to the contracting authority when it comes to enhancing a heritage, consolidating a program, or the feasibility of a project. Bien Urbain relies on a network of partners with complementary skills, gathered in multidisciplinary teams and adapted to the specific challenges of each project and mission, which are itself entrusted. Our agency is based in Paris and strives to develop passionate, exciting practices in ever more varied fields. The project of their choice. Transformation of 19 social housing units, Paris 3e. Client, RIVP. Team, Bien Urbain, Atelier d'Architecture, and Nepson Ingénierie. Construction firm, Office de Services en Bâtiment, OSB. Built in 1953 by architect André Leconte, the building at 64 Rue Saintonge houses a large postal sorting center on the ground floor and around 20 flats that no longer meet today's standards. The project involves a complete reconfiguration of the flats without affecting the post office premises, and the creation of new typologies and a hall dedicated to the flats, along with a comprehensive thermal renovation of the building, in line with the objectives of the City of Paris Climate Plan. The post and beam structure on the building, with infill on the facade, offers a great deal of freedom when it comes to redeveloping the spaces. Only the stairwells, the lift column, and the facades have been preserved, allowing the development of flats that are mostly dual or triple-oriented. The magnificent street facade has simply been revised. The biosourced installation will be carried out from the inside in order to preserve its architectural features. In the courtyard, to the south, the installation is from the outside and finished with plaster. The work here is more significant. Our aim is to bring more natural light into the flats, in line with their new configuration. To achieve this, we are removing the existing masonry spandrels in favor of full-height glazed units. In the living rooms, the windows have been enlarged to provide 3 lift units for the T3 apartment and 4 lift units for the T4 apartments. The challenge is also to provide protection from direct sunlight and, in summer, from the heat it produces. To achieve this, all the windows are fitted with external solar protection. Pine frames echo those on the street. The use of wood, a noble and contemporary material, complies with all protection requirements to ensure its longevity. As part of this project, in-depth investigations were carried out to enable certain materials on the site to be reused. The parquet floors were removed and reinstalled to match the new partitions. The radiators were sanded and then reinstalled. Elegantly modeled glass paving stones were carefully dismantled and reinstalled in the hall. Parts of the zinc roofing that were due to disappear were dismantled and recalibrated to protect the wooden window frames. The building then becomes the supplier of the raw material for its own transformation. Dear listeners, thank you for tuning in. Let's meet again next week for a new Comme d'Archi in English. And until then, take care of yourselves. Goodbye.
Thank you for listening.
And thanks to the sound engineer who was collaborating with us today.
Don't forget to tune in to our previews on Instagram at comdarchipodcast. If you enjoy this podcast, don't hesitate to promote it by giving it 5 stars and a little comment on Apple Podcast or on your favorite podcast platform. And above all, subscribe to listen to all of our episodes for free. See you soon, and until then, take care of yourself.